Here we go, ladies and gents. That entire dump pretty much over now. Bitcoin managed to bounce off the $90,000 price level exactly as we predicted on this YouTube channel. So shout out to those of you that were smashing those likes up and that have been subscribed to this YouTube channel. Obviously, huge trading opportunities in this market, and those of you that have started trading using these links in the description have gotten thousands of dollars, many thousands of dollars for free to trade with, and you can withdraw any profits you make with that capital. So check it out if you're not from a restricted region. But over to this video, I mean, you know, obviously all of this shit happened pretty much exclusively because of the Trump trade tariffs, but we now know how that ended up going, where literally just like an hour ago from the time of me recording this video, Mexico had basically announced that they're going to be sending 10,000 troops to the border, to protect the border for America, and that tariffs have been delayed for a month. So all of that shit, Trump actually such a fucking G. Can I just level with you guys and tell you what happened here? Is Trump caused all of this fucking drama, ladies and gents, over the weekend so that it doesn't impact the markets. I can't, it's actually so crazy how he executed this. It reminds me of, do you guys remember the takeover with OpenAI and that India dude? I think it was Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft or something. He just fucking fixed it overnight before markets reopened. Absolutely fucking top G shit. And if we look at the S&P 500, guys, it ended up gapping down, and now it's already recovered very, very well, So it's looking pretty damn sweet. Mexico announced that those trade tariffs are not going to be coming in for a month. People aren't so worried anymore. Traditional finance has reacted accordingly. Bitcoin has reacted accordingly. And just like that, ladies and gents, just like that, everything is done. The only difference is altcoins are still absolutely decimated, right? Because it's like I said to you guys yesterday, that entire bit of volatility in the market yesterday was the trade tariffs yesterday was the excuse for people to sell in these markets, right? People typically were already looking for reasons to sell because things were so overextended, and the trade tariffs were the excuse. And I think that's why, now that that news headline has been lifted a little bit and we don't have that issue of trade tariffs affecting, stock markets and whatever, we still have the residual effect of these coins being down. It's because it's just reality. Like I said, that veil gets lifted and you can start seeing through a little bit better. So this is really, really interesting. We're going to come back to all this in just a minute, but let's keep it locked on Bitcoin for a second here, where we're sitting at $100,000 basically. We managed to bounce perfectly off this support level exactly as I had predicted, and we've come up to resistance exactly as I had predicted. Given that we've actually, and by the way, like I said, those of you that have been fucking smashing up those likes, I love the shit out of you. Those of you that have been subscribed to this YouTube channel, you got the bell icon checked, you're not missing out on any of this super time sensitive info, and you're getting it all when it's very, very actionable. So really, really exciting stuff here. Shout out to you guys. But obviously resistance up here, and if you're a typical kind of range bound trader, if you like to kind of trade ranges because it's typically the safest, easiest thing to do, then this is obviously kind of a top right now, and you might be expecting things to drop back down. Me personally, because a lot of that kind of stress from the headlines has been alleviated, I'm probably going to be looking for something maybe toward the midpoint of this range and then kind of back up. I'm still bullish. I've been bullish. I'm still, that hasn't changed. Bitcoin's dominance has broken out and it's actually reset by quite a bit, but I think it's going to continue to go up, especially if Bitcoin goes up now. And so I think with all of that in mind, we could be looking at a very, very, very explosive market for this week. I really think that this week could be quite a big deal for these markets. I don't know. We would have to build some sort of bullish narrative to really send this thing above 100K and to send it above 105. But if that does end up happening, I mean, I think obviously we're going to continue to see liquidity being sucked out of altcoins back into Bitcoin. But for the most part, it looks like there's been, a lot of very, very interesting kind of opportunities in this market, right? I mean, Trump kind of down to, $15, $16 was a pretty obvious buy, to be honest, in hindsight. Doge has managed to recover pretty nicely, kind of almost back into its range that it was kind of sideways in. So, we're going to have to see how that goes. XRP also bouncing up and getting very close to an important zone of resistance. So this could actually be an interesting short. And especially, it's like I said, with the free money that exchanges are giving, you can kind of trade anything you like, and it really doesn't matter if you make any money because it's not your loss, but the gains are there, and that's what's interesting. Is this a trade I would take? No, not necessarily, but with free money, yeah, of course. I think it's kind of like a pretty easy opportunity. Other coins have been absolutely killed off. I mean, WIF right here, like you can't even fit it on the chart. It's just so crazy, and just to put it in perspective, basically just from the beginning of this year down to the low, that's 70% down. And then just from like a few days ago, basically down to the low, that's 50%, right? So this coin just absolutely getting destroyed right here. But that should be potentially leading into some interesting reaction rallies, or at least some opportunities to go short if they kind of reach some more interesting resistance levels. So that's going to be something I'm looking out for. Uniswap has done very, very well. It's kind of breaking out into a more macro zone of resistance right now. So this is kind of at a zone of kind of going short right now. For short traders. But would you want to do it right now? I don't know. It's not super clear. If we do bring it back to Bitcoin and talk about what might be happening here, kind of the best case scenario for me in Bitcoin, for Bitcoin right now is a little bit of sideways, and then, we kind of send it higher. If we are able to do that, then next resistance is going to be here at 105. We're going to be able to potentially use this zone as support, and then hopefully we can kind of break that high and get above 105. And, if that does happen at this stage, obviously we've been trading, more or less sideways in this range since we kind of reached it for, 83 days. It's damn near 3 months now. So it's absolutely shocking, but we've gone ahead and done it again, ladies and gents, with these really obscenely long periods of consolidation. But I definitely think that, there's reason to believe that this could be over, especially I think just the fact that there's this huge liquidity grab here, bro. I mean, like, just remember, guys, how many people actually panicked and sold yesterday, especially in altcoins, and that's all going to be getting picked up by people who are not going to be as quick, to sell, right? And that's really, really important. When impatient people sell, they sell into the hands of patient people, and patient people, by nature of being patient, don't sell. And if they don't sell, that means the supply is locked up, and that means the price is going to go up. Yeah, so that's what we see all across the board. By the way, we've also seen gold break out to new, fresh all-time highs today as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Very, very good stuff going on in this market right now. So a super, super active environment here, guys. I mean, what else can you ask for? I think that Ethereum, is probably going to keep on kind of coming down. I think it really just depends on Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin's able to kind of hold its own. Here's Solana bouncing off that support level I told you about, finding resistance at the resistance level that we've had drawn for a little bit. All of these coins just waiting to see what Bitcoin does. So I don't think it's worth kind of analyzing them specifically, because you're just going to see a less clear chart of Bitcoin's chart, basically. But if Bitcoin does end up coming back down, toward 90K, that wouldn't be, particularly good, because we've already visited it, and we don't want to have, rapid retests of the same support level. That's not a good sign. That's a sign that the support level might break. So hopefully if we come back down here, it's going to take a little bit of time. If it happens quickly, then, you might be expecting that this is going to break. And we already know the deal. If it does break, there's basically nothing on this chart that's ever been printed between 70 and 90. The only price action Bitcoin ever had between 70 and 90K is right here, and it was nothing, and there was no support on the way up, so we cannot expect support on the way down. I'm sorry, there was no resistance on the way up, so we can't expect support on the way down. And so, that's kind of what I see if we kind of revisit this level. But, as it stands right now, this is a really, really bullish hammer. I know there are 7 days left in the, 7 hours left in the market. So, not really like the largest amount of time left, but also still a lot of time for this to change. But if we do end up kind of keeping this formation here, then this is going to be a really, really bullish hammer. Yeah, it's going to be a really, really bullish hammer for the market. And I mean, here's another bullish hammer that we kind of formed in the same price level, kind of bouncing off this 90K level. This is not so much of a bullish hammer because we didn't really establish much of a candle body here, but the point is the same, where the trading session goes all the way down up here, but it recovers all the way back up basically to open, and that signals kind of momentum going into the next trading session, the next day and the next week and so on. And, if that's what we're doing here, then, again, we've got just such a perfect setup for it. Like, it really is a very, very perfect setup for that to happen. So, I think that is particularly interesting as well. If we look at this from some of our more classic kind of tools, daily EMA support, not really there, but I mean, we might kind of recover this and then we're good. But other than that, it's not looking great. On the 4 hour, there's really nothing that we can see here, so I'm not going to be looking at this anymore. Actually, let's just take a look at this on the weekly. On the weekly, we haven't captured weekly EMA support, so maybe that's coming up next, right? Maybe we have to do something a little bit like this, and then we can kind of go. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't need to see weekly EMA support. Look, like over here, we didn't get it, and if you were waiting for it, you would have been fucked. So, I'm not desperate to see that, but, it's good if it's there. If it's not there, that's fine. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Ichimoku cloud on the daily. Oh wow, look at that, we bounced off it. So there you go. I mean, that's kind of exactly what we were talking about, basically a month ago, where I was saying that it's very hard to expect when you're going to be using the Ichimoku cloud in the future. But in my experience, it's useful to expect that eventually it will happen, and that's exactly what happened here, where this whole sell-off basically sold straight into this massive Ichimoku cloud. It's already given Bitcoin phenomenal support off this price level before. It's done it again right here, and that's a very strong indication that this could be continuing, and also that if it doesn't continue and it falls back down, actually there's still a shitload of support here according to the daily Ichimoku cloud. So that's actually pretty cool, and I don't think that this is an unreliable tool. I think it's actually quite reliable, so I'm quite happy to see that. And on the 4 hour, not a whole lot that we can be saying about this chart here. So it's really just about seeing, does this turn into a rejection? So far we've kind of just been holding on over here, right? Like we haven't actually kind of really gotten rejected. So, like here we've closed one hour candle here. We're about to close a second hourly candle up here. I mean, that's not really like rejection, price action, body language. It usually, if it's going to reject, it's going to reject a little bit faster, but we'll see. We gotta see how this looks. It could just go sideways and then get rejected after a little bit, and that's going to be, I think, what tells us where this thing is going next, where if we kind of come back down, then there's going to be a little bit more carnage in the altcoin market. But I think if we can just hold steady here, then the chance that we go up is probably going to increase by quite a bit, and I still think alts are going to probably suffer against Bitcoin, but we might overall see a little bit more kind of liquidity re-entering the space here. So there's a lot more interesting stuff going on right now in this market. I don't have time to cover it all with you in this YouTube video. I really hope that you enjoyed my last one though, and if you have enjoyed this one, do me a favor and smash up those likes, double check that you're subscribed, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. And like I said, huge offers available with the links in the description. All you've got to do is start trading using these links. Blowfin's a great alternative to Bybit, and you're going to get thousands and thousands of dollars potentially in bonuses that you can trade with. Any profits are going to be yours to keep. So really, really cool stuff. Obviously, only if you're not from a restricted region. If your country prohibits it, then you can't use it. But really, really cool stuff. Very, very exciting market here, to say the least. And I'm going to be keeping it locked here. So as this continues to develop, I'll be right back here with another video. So those of you that have those notifications on, you're going to know about that first. And obviously, like I said, very, very highly actionable stuff here. So maybe some interesting opportunities for trades today as well. We'll see. We'll have to continue to kind of watch this. Right now, I think, we're at a reversal zone, right? So I think the only kind of obvious trade is kind of going short on Bitcoin right now, but I don't actually think it's that obvious. I don't think it's that clean. So I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna see this and yeah, we'll be back whenever there is volatility. So thank you, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.